Blessings and welcome to the Ascension Alchemists podcast. It's your hostess, Reverend Honey Borden, wishing you the highest and the best in every possible way. As you join us in this community of embodiment from the mighty God presence, I celebrate you today and each day, and I celebrate the walk that you're taking and all that you're experiencing, as this community is all about being raw, real, having real conversations and things that I'm facing, Michael's facing, together we're facing, and we are allowing the greater, better version of us, that divine design that is ordained for us, to come into pass. So welcome, welcome, welcome to my solo episode. I got a few goodies to share with you today and some wonderful takeaways, as it has been an amazing week, truly a blessed week in many ways. And I am here to point out a few things regarding the experience of this week. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about how my lower back went out again this week. And for those of you who've been following, you know what happens. I am one of those individuals that the second something happens to my body, I claim God Almighty as my truth in my body. So as soon as my lower back acted up on Tuesday, because I went for Pilates group class. So finally my body had been in this wonderful state, and I signed up for Pilates group on Tuesday. And when I was finished on, let's say, Tuesday night, of course, I did the Zumba as well. Wednesday morning, my lower back went out. And this weekend we were going away, so it needed to be rebalanced right away. And those of you that know me, I went straight back to God Almighty, the one that who created me in that first place. So I said to my body, I said, this isn't my truth. God Almighty's perfect health is my truth. And that's what I claim. This is just passing. It isn't my truth. My body is in perfect shape, perfect health, so youthful, so wonderful, pain-free, radiant. While my physical body was like, oh, hurting. So I did go get a massage, and I also had, that was on Wednesday morning, and I also had Michael Wednesday night work on my lower back by putting acupuncture needles on it. And I laid on the amethyst crystal biomat and viberacoustic mat, and I also had the light therapy pulsing light on it with also the molecular hydrogen. So I do help set these advanced technologies up in people's home, because I truly believe you're either spending money on illness or you're investing money on your wellness. It's up to you. I've had this motto for 20 years. God Almighty is the source of our pure health, and yet our physical bodies go through things, and we have the choice to claim illness or claim wellness. I always claim wellness. Even when my body is going through this, then I have my body go through certain things, such as the prayer, then the physical experience, such as Michael and my other lady, very deep massage therapist that worked on me together so that my body could come back to its perfect health as I'd claim it, but the physical body coming back to that balance. So it did. It was great. It was just perfect on Thursday, because I needed to have everything ready, because we were leaving on Friday to go to St. Michael's. So, which I'm going to pivot into speaking about that. St. Michael's is in Maryland. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to visit it. It just never, ever happened. So it was so great. Michael and I got up on Friday morning. A dear, dear friend of ours had invited us to come visit. And it was so, so wonderful. We got a chance to see their beautiful boutique hotel and the restaurant called Rus, I really, really recommend, if you are there, go. Chef Michael makes a beautiful dinner menu there. It's a must experience. So on Friday morning, we packed everything and we made our drive, and it was just so beautiful going across the Bay Bridge, and I hadn't been there in a very, very long time. And we arrived and we had a beautiful reservation Monday night at this restaurant, and it was just so wonderful. Our dear beloved sister Stephanie just treated us, and this was Michael's, again, belated birthday, so we had so much fun to this selection of different tastes, sort of like tasting menu, all these different foods, and it was just so wonderful. Great company, great ambience, adorable restaurant, great creation with the decoration, the ambience, the lighting, just fantastic. You know how you go somewhere and it just sits so well in your heart and soul, and you're just having great mocktail, no alcohol, and you're just having great conversation and great heart-to-heart connection. That's exactly how Friday night was. Now, I want to share something with you. For those of you who live in your purpose, you're really true to your essence. You are, for example, let's say like Michael and I, we work for God Almighty. We believe we're employed by God Almighty. So wherever we are, we are exactly who we are. And we know there's certain times that God Almighty happens to do a greater work through us without us knowing, yet it just happens, whether we're at, let's say, in the car on the drive somewhere, we have to pull over, or we're in a restaurant, or we're in the airplane at the airport. I mean, I have like hundreds and hundreds of stories about this. This is outside the times when we are actually facilitating mentorship, that it is scheduled, or we are facilitating our groups, or that is just scheduled. I'm talking about when it's not scheduled. So I'm mentioning that to you in advance because I feel some of you that are also bringers of light, you're put in certain places without you knowing, then there's this whole experience that takes place. So, and we certainly had this phenomenal experience that took place, which I'm going to walk you through. So Friday night, we're in this wonderful restaurant. It was just so wonderful. By the way, I do have to make this beautiful announcement. If you go to that restaurant and you go to their storefront, they have the most adorable boutique with this beautiful, like this things you can purchase, and they're just adorable boutique quality, high quality products. So the owners of this hotel are Casey and Miran. It's so beautiful here. And there's this one oil that they have. It's called the Adelphi. It is so exquisite. And I just have to make that announcement because it's so beautiful. And deep gratitude to our beautiful dear friend Stephanie, because she gifted one of these. And there's a hand soap there too. That's actually tomato hand soap. It's so exquisite. And I highly recommend you checking it out. Anyway, back to the story. So we were sitting having a beautiful dinner. We were there actually for 3 full hours. As we got out to go, there was this wonderful lady who happened to just make a beautiful compliment to Michael and I. So she made a compliment about how Michael and I, like what we were wearing, which was our neutral color, like all of you see us with my light taupe color coat, and Michael was wearing it, so we kind of always matched together. And she made a beautiful compliment. We're like, well, thank you so much. And she was saying how she always wears black. We're like, okay, she's from New York. to each your own, no problem. And Stephanie was with us, and Stephanie said, well, we want to see the event space, because I mentioned to Stephanie, can you please see the event space? Because I would love to organize a retreat here, as I've facilitated retreat in so many different countries. Michael and I are looking to see where we can put our next retreat. And this is the most exquisite boutique hotel in St. Michael. So we thought this could be a really wonderful possibility. So she said, oh, sure, I'm going to walk you over to show this to you. So as we were going there to see it, there is, in one of the main hall, you'll see this exquisite hand-drawn paintings of Harriet Truman, who, for some of you, know the history with the underground railing, and where the slaves would find a way to escape. So there's these actual paintings that one of their relatives has made. It is so gorgeous, so gorgeous. You just have to stand there and take it in with how exquisite and how much of a heartful artist this beautiful gentleman is. I might put his information in the show notes so you can just check it out. So anyway, we went to the event space, and as Michael and I walked in, we were like, wow, it is so beautiful. It was all this neutral color, off-white beige, beautiful, with these kind of like almost like church, like, how would I say it? Like the ceiling of it was kind of like triangular shape with these railings with the wood panels. It was so beautiful, but all of that was painted. Just a beautiful space. And the lady, her name is Arden, she began saying how they've had different retreats here. And I was like, oh, wonderful. We're looking for facilitating a meditation retreat. And she's like, oh, wow, you teach meditation? And I said, yes, I've been in the meditation realm for 33 years. I've been teaching advanced meditation for over 25 years. And she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And as Michael and Stephanie were looking at other things, suddenly this beautiful girl began to, out of nowhere, just open up. She said, that's so beautiful. I can't meditate. I recently lost my father. And she started welting up. And suddenly I found myself taking a different position as I was looking at her. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be very present, because her eyes are tearing up. So I'm going to be very present with her. So then she began mentioning how she can't meditate. She has a hard time, and it's been really, really hard for her. And she said, do you teach meditation? I said, of course, right? We teach meditation, and there are things you can find on our website as well as YouTube channel. She said, oh, that's great. And then suddenly she wanted to open up more. So let me tell you what happened. This was the moment where, even though Stephanie had invited us to come and experience this, we had planned this weekend. And we wanted to have Michael's 50th birthday celebration. All of this was on the surface. Yet here was the moment, the true moment, why we were really there. As this beautiful being, Arden, began to open up, as Stephanie and Michael came, she started tearing up. And I just grabbed her. And she started pouring her heart about her father and how hard it's been. And then Stephanie and her had a communication, because Stephanie's like, I didn't recognize you. She mentioned how numb she's been, how sad she's been, all of that. And for those of you that know me, this is the area that I happen to be able to help a lot. So, of course, right away, I knew God Almighty was creating space to bring words of faith, words of upliftment, words of inspiration, words of just relief to her. And so I began just reminding her how her father is near her. Her father is always wanting to communicate to her. And she was like, I don't know how to hear him. I'm just so sad. So I said, perfect. So of course, I began receiving her dad to my right side. The presence of her father started showing up with this instrument, this different kind of guitar. It was almost like a Middle Eastern guitar. So I started asking her. And, those of you that know me, I usually don't announce that I'm a medium or anything like that. And, I don't even do readings. I've stopped all of those years ago. Yet there are these moments where I'm very clear. God is like, okay, open up. Let's help this person. So this is what happened. So I asked her, I said, can I ask you a question? She said, yes. I said, was your father into music? She's like, oh my God, yes. How do you know? He loved DJing. He made a lot of music, all of this. I said, okay. I said, I'm just going to let you know, I'm receiving your father. There's a guitar. She's like, oh my God, he always wanted to play guitar. I said, he's showing me guitar. So I started explaining the images that I was receiving from her father and spirit side. She started crying her heart out. She was so relieved. She was so lifted. She started tearing up so much. And it was incredible. As Stephanie was there, Michael was there, I was there. I was holding her hand so that all this release can just come out of her. And it was incredible how Michael, me, and Stephanie saw her literally transform in front of us. She started just opening up out of this extreme release, and then just like, oh my God, this is the best day of my life. I feel so grateful. I'm so thankful. I've been wanting to connect with my dad. I just didn't know how. Like, I can feel him, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It was so incredible to witness, and we all kept hugging her. We surrounded her. We just hugged her. It was such a beautiful moment. I felt so grateful that God Almighty had put us in that position so we could just be here for this beautiful being, Arden. And I know she's listening to this because I told her I'm going to be talking about her as this podcast comes out on Monday. So, Arden, you were so incredible in opening yourself, giving permission. We were strangers, but somehow you allowed yourself to just open up. And we're so grateful that you gifted yourself, and you also gifted us for the ability to bring God Almighty presence to you so you can feel trust. So I had a chance to also pray over her, for her family, and I continue to pray for you. I'm very curious how you are doing, dear Arden, as you hear these words. So, sometimes you don't know where God Almighty places you. And for those of us that work for God Almighty, we are, wherever we are, is where God Almighty has placed us. So we're ready. We're ready to bring the message of hope. We're ready to bring the message of inspiration. We're ready to bring that upliftment. We're ready to remind individuals that they do not need to suffer, even though the human self may go through a challenging experience, but you don't actually need to stay in the suffering. You can also allow God Almighty's strength. The joy of God, I always say, is my strength. That's also there to come into the situation, so you do not have to do life alone on your own. You can allow God Almighty's strength to be lent to you so that you can be a blessing to yourself, to your situation, as well as others. So it's just an incredible moment. And we were also very lifted from that experience. So on to Saturday was a really cool day. We got a chance to walk around St. Michael's town and just cute shops and have a great time. And of course, the backstory for the St. Michael is that my Michael, of course, his name is Michael. We have a very, very strong bond with Archangel Michael. Some of you know that on July 17, 2017, we had an encounter with Archangel Michael. Michael and I both, where both of our lives were transformed and changed forever. We were transcended, we were changed. And on July 17, 2017, when Archangel Michael made contact with us and brought this specific way of a transformational healing that became the signature, the Archangel Michael transformational healing that Michael facilitates. And he's been doing that for 9 years. And we have seen many miracles. We have 5 individuals that were told they can never, ever, ever get pregnant. They didn't come to Michael for that. However, out of that particular one-time session, each 5 of these individuals became pregnant. Each of them have beautiful children. We're close to some of them that had children. They're still in our lives, and it's just beautiful to witness because the doctors, some of them, all kinds of things that had gone through that they were just told they will never be able to have children. So the working miracle of God Almighty is so grand, and that's not how it works. But what Archangel Michael taught my Michael and I in how to heal the bodies, it started with me, with what I'd been carrying from lifetimes that I brought it into this lifetime, and to clearing it out of my body. That became the signature piece. And for those of you, the many of you that are listening, you have had that phenomenal, exquisite, exclusive experience with Michael, and you have seen how your life has also transformed. It's so extraordinarily amazing, and forever we're grateful. So to go to St. Michael's was amazing in Maryland, and Michael was on a total high the whole time. Oh my gosh, I'm in St. Michael. So he wanted to get a St. Michael magnet, St. Michael t-shirt. We had a chance to have a field day, allowing the inner child to have so much fun and ride this beautiful, I think they're called, I forget what then. It's like the little tractors you ride on a land. We just had so much fun. And we came back because, as I'm recording this today, which is Sunday, the 29th, Palm Sunday, today was the Sizabedar, which is the 13th day after the Nowruz New Year celebration for us Iranian people. So today was a significant day to be able to be with families out, large picnics they have. However, I found out in the morning that because of what has been taking place in Iran for the people of Iran, there was a very, very large gathering at the U.S. Capitol outside by the Iranian people. It was a peaceful walk where people from Toronto, from New York had taken buses, had come down. So as soon as I found out, I said, Michael, we have to go. So it was also the Cherry Blossom Festival. So with my cousins, we all decided to meet. And some of you know that me and Michael have attended the last 2 peaceful walk that has to do with the freedom of Iran. But what was significant about today was it was this reclaiming of the reclaiming of the lion, the Zoroastrian lion of Iran, being placed back on our flag. that dates back to approximately 6,000 years. This had been taken off because of the Islamic Republic of Iran over the last 47 years since the 1979 revolution took place. So today signified all these Iranian people from all over coming to U.S. Capitol in front of it, reclaiming their birthright under the Zoroastrian, the original Persia, the people of Persia, to be able to put the lion back and the rise of that sun. So it was so beautiful to see them have this peaceful walk and to celebrate it and to claim it and to thank US. And so we had a chance to walk with that, and I got a chance to also do some live reels around it and to share it. And this was a completion day for me, because some of you have been following what's been taking place over the last 3 months as all of these uprisings took place in Iran, January, February, and the Islamic Republic of Iran has been retaliating against the peaceful protesters, and they killed so many. Some of you know, in early February, over 2 days, they killed over 50,000 young individuals, and they've still been brutally killing, hanging, assassinating all kinds of young individuals. So, of course, then the war has taken place out, and that's a very difficult one, because none of us want war, none of us want that. And the suppression of the last 47 years has taken such a toll. The suppression of the Islamic Republic of Iran and by the ruling of the Shiite sect, what they have done to the people is unfathomable. You can't even get your head wrapped around it. So there is an uprising of all of us Iranians that want Reza Pahlavi, the king's son, the Shah's son, to return back, and they are reclaiming him to replace all these ayatollahs. Thank God, all these ayatollahs have been removed, because they are the ones who are also crazy enough that have all of these extreme terrorist cells in so many countries. So they're not good to anyone. And even me being able to say this right now, I'm putting myself in danger by verbalizing this, yet I'm speaking that truth, because God Almighty is here, and these loving individuals, the people, they do not want to be suppressed anymore. Like my aunt, my uncle, my mom, they're finally talking about all that they have suppressed for 47 years, and there is such a desire for them to be able to have the people be free, to be able to visit Iran and the beauty that comes out of it, and be able to reconnect with their families. So there's a lot around here. So today was a significant day to walk, be with the cherry blossoms. And for those of you who know, as I walk, I am walking not in the crowds, I'm walking on the side, and I am just in prayers of the end result, prayers of the peace, prayers of the forgiveness, prayers of the freedom, all of this. That's all I'm doing while I'm walking. And it's a very interesting place, and I'm asking God Almighty to come into their hearts of the people. Let their hearts be lifted. Let their angers be washed away. Let their hope be restored. Let their faith be restored, because they have also truly been separated from God Almighty because of the way the Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic of Iran have forced and shoved religion down our throat. The people just don't want that anymore, and it's kind of a touchy subject to bring anything. So I do speak of God Almighty, and sometimes I find many Iranians don't want to hear that word. And of course, I have that relation with beloved Christ, beloved Yeshua, more coming from that lens, and I'm not here to enforce Christianity or any of that upon anyone, yet the eternal light of truth is that Christ's light, and it is accessible and available to all of us. It's inside the heart of every single person, so it's up to them. And as they come to their heart, they come to their love, they can feel God Almighty's love in their heart, and they certainly can be much more lifted. Michael and I spoke a lot about this in this past Wednesday's True Prosperous Living. In this module, we talked about was really around the love of God Almighty. And that, by the way, for those of you that are interested, that's an ongoing monthly mentorship that you can sign up for it at any time. That link is also in the bottom of the show notes. It's life transformative because you really get to understand the depth of what true prosperity is. That's so far beyond just financials. And you get to understand it from the lens of God Almighty. And I welcome all of you to join and learn about it. It is $188 each month, and the replay is also there if you miss it. So it was a full-on weekend. As Michael and I came back, we had to hit Lifetime right away because we walked literally about 5 miles today. It was amazing, and especially with all these people that had come for cherry blossoms. And can I just say deep gratitude to the police force of Washington, D.C. They were amazing with the amount of people that were there for cherry blossoms. God bless you all. Like it felt so good to be able to walk, feel so safe, so comfortable, even with the peaceful protests and all kinds of different people walking everywhere in every direction. And also that the wonder of these cherry blossoms representing renewal, representing beauty, representing really the blessings of God Almighty that comes out once a year in this way, that people from all cultures, all nationalities come together in this unification just to be present in the beauty of this nature. That's how gorgeous our God Almighty is. It's so beautiful to witness it. So it was a wonderful day. And of course, then Michael and I had to hit the gym to Lifetime because our legs were so sore, and we were able to take care of ourselves and get ready for an amazing week, as it is a holy week up until Sunday where we have Easter. I'm really looking forward to this week. And I trust you are going to have an amazing week. By the way, did any of you make it to the cherry blossoms this weekend? Did you love it? Wasn't it amazing? I wonder if you feel enchanted the way Michael and I feel. We just like want to shove our face into the cherry blossoms because we are just so touched by the remarkable presence and the frequency of such purity. It's incredible. So yeah, this is a week of the Holy Week from Palm Sunday to Resurrection, Easter. It's going to be a good one. And a good message for all of you. What are you willing to resurrect out of you? What are you being called to stand in the presence of God Almighty in you? How will you be a greater expression? How will you be a blessing to another or to your family, to your life? I'm very curious about that. I really look forward to your week this week. I'm so grateful that you got to journey here with me tonight, as many of you are going to hear this in the morning as it comes out on Monday. And I'm always so grateful that I have this opportunity to just be with you, share with you, and let it be raw and real, unscripted. Here's the life moment. There's the ups and downs and everything in between. And this is the beauty of life. Yet we have these pockets that's just so gorgeous, so beautiful, especially when it's this unity and passion and all people coming together under one presence, one essence. And there is a celebration, there's unification of the hearts. It's just so beautiful. And I wish you a beautiful week. I envision you have the most spectacular week. Your heart is lifted even more. You're just being lighthearted this week. So God Almighty can bless you even greater, especially bringing the blessings into the areas that you may be needing extra prayer, extra support, just extra helping hand. Just know that God Almighty is here for you. God Almighty loves you. God Almighty is here to handle the big challenges of life. You just got to include God Almighty in your decisions, in your choices, in your walk of life. You do not need to walk alone. There is that grand presence that created you, that is here with you and wants to walk with you. There's nothing that is too big for God Almighty. You can ask. And when you ask, you receive it. That's how glorious God Almighty is. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful to have such intimate relationship with the presence of God Almighty. And I get to bring that blessing into my life, into my marriage, into my friendships, into my clients, into my ministry, and those that are members of my association. I'm so grateful to you. And I welcome all of you to come join my private community. It is faith-filled people. It is joyous. It is beautiful. It is loving. So you can feel supported, because you don't need to do life alone. Remember, that's always the work of enemy, for you to just be alone. You were never, ever meant to be alone. You're meant to be with people and to thrive and be in joy. So you can remember God Almighty's joyous blessing is upon you, is been given unto you, because you are also the child of the Most High God. And it's so beautiful that you exist and you're here in this earth. And I love you all so much. I'm so grateful that I had this time with you. And I'm so excited for you to listen to this podcast and let me know what your takeaway was. And anything else you want to share, any question you have, I am here to answer it. And I'm just so grateful that I have this time to share these moments with you. So have a beautiful, blessed week. And it is going to be amazing. And next time I'll talk to you is going to be the day after Easter. I'm so excited to see where you are going to be in Easter. Let me know. Have a wonderful night. Much love.